Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about the narcissist, blame shifting, and 12 of the most common phrases a narcissist will use to shift the blame over to you. And blame shifting is a form of the narcissist gaslighting, as the narcissist fails to take responsibility for their behaviour by shifting the blame over to you for their behaviour to confuse your reality so that you take responsibility and they don't have to. The narcissist blame shifting is the narcissist defense mechanism. It is a part of their protection due to their own inadequacies, due to failure to take responsibility for their own mistakes. They seek to pass the blame over to you, and they do this by confusing you, by devaluing what you have to say, devaluing what's happened to you. And if it's all possible, a narcissist will keep going to frustrate you, to potentially gain an emotional reaction from you so that they can blame everything on your emotional reaction so they can get away with their actions. So this video is going to be about 12 of the narcissist common blame shifting phrases. Any that you've heard, please drop those into the comments. So one of the first ones a narcissist might come out with is, "You forgot to remind me." So if you ask them to do something because they lack the ability to take responsibility, their inadequacy, because they lack the empathy to care, their inadequacy, because they have a sense of entitlement that they don't have to do things for you or for other people, even though they promise to do them, their inadequacy, they will forget to do things for you. Now, we are all capable of forgetting things, and most of the time when we forget something, we feel bad. We apologise and we try not to do it again. When a narcissistic person forgets something, they don't take responsibility for this. They just turn around and say, "Well, you forgot to remind me," so that you self-blame and they get away without having to do things for you, which is very similar to the "you didn't tell me." So you can tell them over and over and again that you are going out with friends, going out with family. You can write it on a calendar in black and white in front of them. You can speak about it so many times. And then when it comes to going, they can have planned a nice meal for you. And you can say, "Well, I'm just about to go and meet so-and-so." And they will turn around and say, "You never told me that." And you can say, "Look, I've wrote it on the calendar there in black and white." And they'll be like, "You've only just put that there. You're trying to gaslight me. You're trying to trick me. I've planned this lovely meal for you and you're going out." And what they're trying to do is make you feel bad so that you begin to isolate yourself from others and focus on the narcissist. They're not going to take responsibility for their feelings. That is their inadequacy. They don't want to take responsibility for their own feelings, that they don't want you to go out with friends because they need to isolate you from support, because they are seeking excessive attention. Instead, they're going to twist it and claim that you never told them something so that you feel guilty, or to bait you into that argument where you repeatedly have to defend yourself to them. They repeatedly devalue your words to you. You end up being brought down into a mood with them, and as soon as they've brought you down, they suddenly seem happy again. They're smug again because they've made you feel inferior, and they then feel superior towards you. When it comes to talking to narcissistic people who are going to shift the blame on you, they are aiming to bring you down. The more you try to speak to them, the more they will devalue your words to the point where you feel worthless. So when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, you have to remember that you do not have to take part in every argument you're invited to. State your point once and leave them to it. "You made me." Well, nobody makes anybody do anything. People can coercively control people into doing something that is out of character for that person. However, they didn't directly make. Now, when somebody coercively controls you into doing something that's out of character, most often those people take responsibility for their reactions. Most people blame themselves, doubt themselves, question themselves. Narcissistic people will make you do something and then blame you for doing it. With a narcissist, they will do something totally off their own back. No coercive controlling behaviour, not being provoked in any way, not being emotionally, it's their inadequacy, that they will then do something and then they will turn around and say, well, you made me. When you didn't do anything at all, it's just who they are as a person. Narcissistic people will do stuff to you to make you do something and then blame you, and you will blame yourself because you take responsibility. You don't turn around and go, you made me do it. It's your fault is another one. A narcissist might rage out at you and they're just going to turn around and say, it's your fault. You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like if I haven't had a drink. You know what I'm like if. They're going to find an excuse to blame you by claiming that it's your fault that they haven't done something for you or that they did something to you. If you'd have paid me more attention, I wouldn't have gone elsewhere. When it comes to a narcissistic person who cheats, they cheated. That's their responsibility. That's their behaviour. That's their inability to remain faithful, to remain loyal, to respect the person they're with. That's their inadequacies. However, they're not going to take responsibility for these because they believe they deserve excessive admiration. So no matter how much attention you give them, it's not going to be enough for them. Yet they don't want to take the fall. They don't want to take responsibility for their negative behaviour. They want to switch it on to somebody else. So they're going to turn around and say, well, if you'd have paid me more attention, I wouldn't have gone elsewhere. And to friends and family, they're going to start a mass smear campaign and accuse the person they cheated on as being the problem. So they don't have to take responsibility. They're looking to shift the blame, and while shifting the blame, they're gaslighting other people's realities. You're too sensitive. We can all be sensitive, especially when people are using our insecurities, our inadequacies, our weaknesses against us to hurt us. Is going to provoke feelings. Narcissistic people fail to recognise their own. However, they will point out the flaws in everybody else, and they will do them in some of the most horrific ways. And once they have pointed the flaws out in somebody else's life and they've provoked a reaction from that person, they're just going to accuse that person of being too sensitive. Or they will turn around and claim that somebody is overreacting. Because by claiming that you're overreacting, that downplays their behaviour towards you and exaggerates your reaction towards them. When what a narcissist has done is devalued you, devalued who you are as a person, created that self-doubt and that frustration within you that once you've reacted to them, they blame you. You're jealous is another one. When a narcissistic person goes all out to provoke feelings of jealousy within you for whatever reason they want to. It can be just simply because you went somewhere and spoke to somebody else that caused envy within them. So they seek to punish you by flirting with someone in front of you. And when you go to speak to them about this because it's made you feel uncomfortable, instead of them validating your feelings in the right way, and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise that would upset you. Because we can all be flirtatious. Most people who have flirted haven't done it to offend anybody or to get in a relationship with somebody if they're already with somebody. So when their partner comes up and says, oh, that made me, they don't want their partner to feel bad. They'll be, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise. I didn't mean to upset you. I'll make sure, let me know next time if it happens again, and I'll try and make sure to rein that behaviour in. A narcissistic person isn't going to do that because they lack the empathy to care for your feelings. They're going to turn around and accuse you of having trust issues or being jealous. They're going to shift the blame over to you for their behaviour, to get you to question and doubt yourself. It's not my fault. They're out to get me. Everybody's out to get me. Nobody trusts me. Nobody believes me. The narcissist classic victim play, where they are looking to escape taking responsibility by blaming the rest of the world for being out to get them. Now, we can have all been through some form of suffering within our lives that's painful, and we can all doubt certain groups of people. Narcissistic people take it to the extreme, where they believe that people are against them, and they will tell people that other people are against them. We can all have people against us. We can all have people trying to drag us down with them. However, the difference lies between the one that's willing to take responsibility and the one who shifts responsibility for their own actions. There's people who are going to try to make you feel responsible for the things that they did wrong, and that's not your responsibility. You have every right to pass responsibility back to the rightful owner. And there is people who are going to take responsibility not only for their own behaviour but the behaviour of those around them. And again, we do need to take responsibility for our own behaviour. However, we need to pass responsibility back to the rightful owner for theirs. I lied to protect your feelings. They don't lie to protect your feelings. They lie to protect themselves. You're awkward. When a narcissist isn't getting their sense of entitlement met, when they're not getting their own way, they're going to accuse you of being the awkward one, you of being the stubborn one, so that you feel guilty. You question whether you're being awkward and change your mind to serve them, which is similar to those you're selfish. Because a narcissistic person is one of the most selfish people you could ever meet. However, they don't want you to recognise that. They want you to blame yourself and change how you're living your life so that it fits into how they want to live theirs. Narcissistic people are looking to take you down, and the more you try to explain yourself to them, the more you try to state your point of view, the more they're going to take you down with them. We can all come across people who are having difficulties within life, and if they have the ability to recognise their own behaviour and take responsibility, we can walk with them to help them through. When it comes to narcissistic people, the more we try to help them, the more we enable them. The more we try to state our point of view, the more we enable their ability to blame shift and gaslight our reality. We are in the wrong argument when somebody is failing to listen to our point of view and instead just trying to twist it all onto us. We're not going to get anywhere with them, no matter how many different ways we phrase it. When they claim that we forgot to remind them, it's not our job to repeatedly remind somebody. It's our job to recognise their pattern of behaviour and no longer let them devalue who we are as a person. You don't have to take part in every argument you're invited to. You can state your point once, and if somebody is unwilling to listen to you, if someone is willing to double down and escalate things towards you, if someone is willing to blame you, shame you, guilt trip you, if someone is willing to gaslight you to defend themselves, then you don't need to continue the conversation with them, because by continuing the conversation, we are enabling them. Any blame shifting phrases you heard, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot come in contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to or have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.